He's riding in the shadow of a dusty sunlit dawn. The black cowboy, Trent Grisham, hits bombs. A glove of gold and a bat that swings true. With a soul as wild as the skies he rides through. Oh, he hits 'em high, and he hits 'em strong. Over fences they fly, where the brave belong. In the field of green, he's a sight we trust. Trent Grisham's name ain't bound to rust. The banjo strum keeps his rhythm in stride. A defensive stud with that cowboy pride. He's worth the trade, there's no regret. Even if Soto plays for the Mets. Oh, he hits 'em high, and he hits 'em strong. Over fences they fly, where the brave belong. In the field of green.
He's a side we trust. Trent Grisham's name ain't bound to rust. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jason. And man, oh man, the Yankees, man, we can't keep losing like this. I'll tell you what, man. They drop another one to the Padres, 4-3 in heartbreaking fashion, man. It was a tough game. Freaking, it was nasty on the field, raining like crazy. I thought the umpires were gonna call the game, but they didn't. I wish they would have called it when the Yankees were actually winning. But man, man, oh man, it was a tough one, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got so many thoughts, man. I went through all kinds of emotions during the game. I went from being happy to being disappointed to being super upset, and now I'm just like in the now, bro. Like, is this the team? Is this our team really? Is this what the Yankees are? This who the Yankees are? Let's talk about it, man. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. Andrew, he says, "What's up, Jason? How's it going, bro? It's going good, man. It's been better though. I tell you what. But I mean, all in all, I can't complain, man. Even though the Yankees keep letting me down, but life is good, man. Another day is a blessing. Every day I wake up is a blessing." D-Train says, "Damn, bro, another heartbreaking loss. This is like another 500 team this year." It's starting to feel like that, D-Train, and we're going to get into it in a second. Andrew says, "Stankies really do suck." I have faith in you guys to beat the Padres because they are in my Dodgers division. We had them too. But let's take a look at the box score, right? Because there's so many things that we got to talk about. But let's start with the box score, right? We'll do that. All right, Trent Grisham homers even before we go to the bottom of the third with Trent Grisham homer. In the bottom of the first, right? Freaking Judge reaches base on a walk, and then Ben Rice comes up with a big double that he almost got thrown out. The ball gets loose. It pops out of Xander Bogaerts' glove, and for whatever reason that I cannot explain, Judge all of a sudden feels like he's freaking Kenny Lofton out there and decides to try to take home. The ball literally just bounced like 3 feet away from Xander Bogaerts. But Judge, he runs home, I mean, looking like his feet were made of cinder blocks. And he gets thrown out at the plate, of course, right? That comes out to be a huge play in the game because that would have been the run. The game would have still been tied. But whatever, right? Judge had a mental lapse. It happens. I get it. Anyway, bottom of the third, Trent Grisham hits a freaking bomba, 102 miles per hour off the bat. It traveled 390 feet to the upper deck. Freaking puts the Yankees up 2-0. And at this point, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. He just took Nick Pivetta deep. That's their best pitcher, in my opinion, right now. And I like our chances because Rodon is dealing. Rodon is out there wheeling and dealing, looking good. All right. Then we get through this rain delay. It's about a 30-minute rain delay. Rodon comes back out, and it looks like he didn't skip a beat, man. He was pitching great, still pitching great. So before we're going to talk about Rodon, but let me go through the box score a little bit because the bats were ass today, man. Let's be honest. The bats, besides that home run, the bats were freaking terrible, man. Volpe had a sacrifice fly, and that's about it, man. That was the whole offense right there. That was the whole offense, man. Let me switch over here. All right, so Grisham, he went 1 for 3, 2 RBIs on the day. Judge 0 for 3. He's batting 414 on the season. So he's getting close to that 400 line. I don't know what we call that. We call 200 line. We call 200 the Mendoza line. So I'm gonna call 400 the Ted Williams line. So he's getting close. Rice 1 for 4. That double in the first inning was all he had. Goldschmidt 2 for 4. But it didn't turn out to be anything. Bellinger had a hit. Volpe, he had a sac fly, but besides that, he was 0 for. Wells 1 for 4. Peraza 0 for 2. He had a walk and a strikeout. He's batting 205 on the season. Wells batting 210. Freaking Volpe 228. I mean, guys, man, this is pretty much a freaking this is a spring training lineup right here, man. The Yankees need help in this lineup, dude. Big time. Uh they brung in Dominguez late in the game. He couldn't come through. Vivas went 0 for 2 with the walk at least, but 2 strikeouts. So he's still trying to adjust. He's batting 143 with the small sample size that we have of him. Tatis 0 for 4, gets thrown out the game late, along with the manager. Arias 0 for 4. Machado 1 for 4. Xander Bogaerts 2 for 3. I mean, look, bottom line is when your starter pitchers like Rodon pitch, look, this was not on Rodon. Rodon was phenomenal today. He was great. I mean, this is back to back to back starts that he's been really, really good. All season he's been pretty good, with the exception of a few bad pitches. But lately, man, he's been on it. He was on it. Let's see how many strikeouts did he have? Give me 1 second. Let's pull this up. Okay, Rodon went 6 and 2/3 innings. Gave up only 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. His ERA is down to 2.96 on the season. So he's pitching great, man. When you get a start like that from Rodon, you gotta win. You gotta win, especially on the freaking we playing the Padres, bro. Like you have to win, man. Rodon, like I was kind of feeling like, hey, like yeah, I was jumping on the train, like yeah, Rodon's looking good, but I still feel a little iffy about it. I still don't trust him 100%. But after this start, I'm thinking, look, this isn't a fluke. This is this is the player that we thought we were gonna get 2 years ago when we signed him, and we finally getting it. So he's doing this thing. He's stepping up huge, man, because this rotation, this team, this city, man, needs it bad, dude. We need it. We can't just do it with Max Fried alone. We need him to step up in a big way, man, and he has. So shout out to Rodon, man. Look, the dude looks like a whole different person out there. You could tell that he's not getting flustered by anything. There was a play, it was a pop-up right in front of the mound, and he just stood there and Goldschmidt and Peraza ran in. Peraza called for it, but then ran into Rodon, so couldn't make the play. And usually in a, you know, old Rodon would have let that just freaking that would have just dismantled him right there because he gets all emotion and everything. But this Rodon is different, bro. He was like, whatever, I'm gonna go up there and strike out the next batter and go back to the dugout. And that's what he did. So I give a lot of props to Rodon, man. He's looking really, really good out there. Really good, man. He made Tatis look foolish. Um, he made all of them look pretty bad, man. They only got 3 hits over him, and none of those hits were hard hits, really. So shout out to Rodon. Let's see what the chat is saying. Andrew says, amen to that, bro. D-Train says, we got to ride it out and just hope to catch fire in the playoffs. Bro, let me tell you something, man. We got to make it to the playoffs first. I'm different. I think we got to ride it out to the at least the All-Star break, but by the trade deadline, Cashman needs to make some big moves. And if that means parting ways with some prospects that we fall in love, everybody's enamored by, I don't care, dude. To me, that's how I always been, man. A prospect is a suspect to me. You don't know what you're gonna get, man. It's a freaking crapshoot. So I rather I rather get what we need for this year. I'm not saying goals trade everybody for rental or anything like that, but he's gotta make things happen, man. And we gotta get help. Cause look, I mean, in no in reality, look, best case scenario, when Stanton comes back, if he could produce like we know that he can, and when Luis Hill comes back, if he can be good like he was last year, then really we're like one or two pieces away from being a really, really strong team. So Cashman gotta do it, bro. He's gotta he's gotta make something happen, man. He's gotta get we need reinforcements, man. This team has no depth at all, bro. Look at the lineup. Look at the lineup, bro. This is ridiculous, man. Most of these people, I'm not gonna lie, man. Most of these guys, just a few years ago, were playing in double A. They were playing in double A like 2, 3 years ago, half the lineup. So we gotta do something about that, man. We gotta do something about that. D-Train says we gotta score 5 runs plus to secure a win with this bullpen. Yeah, man. I feel like even with 5 runs, they probably would have blew it. Andrew says, Jason, I bought tickets for Yankees versus Dodgers series. It's going to be a World Series rematch. I'm excited. I mean, I'll deal with that when we get there, man. Right now, I don't think we're ready to see the Dodgers. Not yet, man. That's gonna be a series where I want the Yankees to come out and really, really freaking go off. So we need the bats to wake up for that. All right, derails, man. That's a perfect segue to the next topic. So in the eighth inning, man, they go ahead and well, I think in the seventh, after they took out Rodon, we saw Fernando Cruz. Fernando Cruz was really good. He only pitched one out. I didn't even realize that. Wait a minute. So he only pitched one third of an inning to get out of that seventh inning, and then Boone went to Devin Williams. So Boone goes to Devin Williams, and Devin Williams at first looked all right, and then he freaking went ahead and walked two, gave up a hit. Freaking at that point they took him out, bases loaded. They bring in Weaver. Weaver gives up two hits back to back, and next thing you know, freaking the Padres are up 4-3, which is just unacceptable, man. Look, Weaver gets a little leeway because he's pitched really well. But Williams, look, and I've been defending this dude and I've been very patient. But at this point, man, you gotta treat him like freaking you gotta treat him like a low leverage pitcher, man. Like Matt said, you gotta put him in when freaking it's a blowout or something like that. And I get it. Some people think, well, that's not gonna build his confidence. Like this dude is so off, man. And his stuff was nasty. He just couldn't locate it. He struck out Fernando Tatis on a nasty pitch. And Fernando Tatis didn't agree, obviously. He got kicked out of the game, but he's just not good right now. Let's face it, man. Devin Williams is just not good right now. And I think he still got it in him, but we got to get him there, man. I feel like they're kind of rushing it a little bit. They're rushing it a little bit. There was no reason to take out Fernando Cruz when you think about it. He only pitched one third of an inning. So there really wasn't. You could have brung him out. And at that point, because that was the third out, you could have brung him out for one batter and then brung in Devin Williams, or just brung him out and just see, if he could get guys out quickly and now run up his pitch count, then why not let him pitch that the entire eighth? But no, Devin Williams came in the eighth, and everything was downhill from there. Weaver took the loss. He did not look good either. But at the end of the day, it's tough, man. Coming in the eighth inning with the bases loaded, what are you gonna do, man? After Weaver, they brought him Tim Hill, and that's it. It was all she wrote after that, man. The Yankees could not make a comeback at all. I haven't seen the Yankees make a serious comeback at all this year. I don't even This team looks lifeless, bro. They got no fight in them. It's just sad, man. I'm telling you right now, like, and I know I'm going off off topic right now, but this team, bro, this team is not it, man. We need some of these players back from the IL, or we need to make a big trade or something, or somebody has to really go off in a big way. Whether that's Cody Bellinger, somebody got to go off in a big way to really lift this team because Judge can't do it all by himself, and even Judge hasn't really been able to get big hits like that. Even though he's freaking doing phenomenal, but he needs we need something else, man. We need something else. I'll tell you right now, look, if without Judge, this team is without Judge, man, this team is a little bit better than the Chicago White Sox. That's how bad it is. Just think about it, man. Knock on wood. If Judge wasn't in this lineup, how bad this team would be. It'd be atrocious, man. So yeah, Devin Williams shits the bed again. Weaver shit the bed again. Well, not again, but he didn't look good, man. He got hit hard, and that's it, man. Freaking Yankees lose another tough one, another game we should have won. This game should have been won. And you could criticize Boone and everything. And yeah, I think he should have left Fernando Cruz in. He should have left him in at least. He only pitched one third of an inning, but he didn't. And that's it, man. That's why games like yesterday versus the Rays, those are so important, man. When you're playing those teams and you have a chance to win or to steal a win, you have to jump on it, man. You have to jump on it. So losses like this, yeah, they hurt, but it's not as bad. But we just taking L's from everywhere, man. We taking L's from the bad teams. We taking them from the good teams. It seems like as soon as we lose a lead or we're down late in the game by one run, there's no coming back, man. I'll be honest. I had little faith. Once Judge popped out in the what was it, the bottom of the eighth, I had little faith that we were gonna come through. Ben Rice ended up striking out. Then Paul Goldschmidt got a big hit. But Bellinger came up, and I'm gonna be honest, even with Bellinger, I was hoping that he just step up. That could have been his moment as a Yankee. And he hit it hard, man, but straight to center field, and that was it. I already knew that that Volpe and Peraza, well, they brought in Dominguez in for Peraza, but I already knew that Wells, Volpe, and Peraza, they weren't gonna do it. Not against the Padres closer. This guy came in throwing 99. These dudes couldn't even catch up to that ball. It was a wrap after that. It was a wrap. D-Train says, bro, what are you going to do with Devin Williams? He is almost unplayable right now. I cringe every time his number is called out the bullpen. Yeah, man. I think they I don't know what they should have took it slower. I feel like they said they're not gonna put him in high leverage situations and let him pitch a little bit. I don't think he's ready for that, man. They should have just stood with Fernando Cruz and then brought in Weaver, went straight to Weaver. Like, he needs to be coming in the fifth, sixth inning, and stuff like that. Let him start from there and work his way up. That's what I think. But instead, they put him in and he got his feelings crushed again, man. He doesn't look confident. They kept showing him in the dugout, just looking defeated, bro. Looking defeated. I know he was hoping that Weaver would have bailed him out of that one, but Weaver couldn't do it this time. Dietrich said, I don't think Devin Williams is going to pan out here. He's looking absolutely lost out there. Man, I tell you what, man, he has to, though. He has to pan out. We got to get this guy going somehow. He got to. He ain't going nowhere, bro. I'm telling you right now, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, his facial expressions, and body language does not display confidence. It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. But let's go ahead and let's check out Boone's post-game interview. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll watch it for the first time together. Let me switch over here.
Mixed bag with Devin Williams there in the eighth. How did you think he threw the ball?
Yeah, okay. I mean, obviously, the walk there to Wade after getting the leadoff hitter hurt. Thought it looked like he made a decent pitch getting in on Lockridge that he was able to kind of fight off. And then, gets a big strikeout and then loses their eyes. So obviously the walks hurt.
It does.
So set them up there.
What did you see on the pitches that Weaver made to Machado and Bogarts?
I mean, two pretty big time swings. It looked like Bogarts got to a pretty good pitch. Like knowing that ride and carries there and was able to get to it and stay level with it. So I thought they put two good swings on. I thought Luke had a pretty good fastball tonight, and they were able to sync it up.
Obviously, both teams have to do it, but what are the
Luke's fastball was good, but he was just throwing it in the bad part of the zone, man. He was throwing meatballs. Manny Machado hit that ball hard, dude. That shit was smoked off the bat of Manny Machado. And it's like he was sitting on it, too. He knew it was coming.
toughest parts about playing in these types of conditions?
Yeah, I mean, just everything. Late, it was pretty good most of the game, and then late, obviously right before the rain delay, and then late, the field's getting a little muddy, so just having that good footing and stuff. The play Peraza makes there in the top of the ninth, getting across, pretty difficult play that he made there, and Goldie finishing off. So just makes it a little more challenging.
Max and Greg. Greg, go ahead.
Did you consider keeping Cruz in there after he threw 2 pitches to finish seventh?
Yeah.
Why not go with him in the
Yeah,
eighth?
that's a good question. Yeah, why didn't you keep Cruz in there?
Set up for Devin there. Cruz had thrown 2 innings 2 days ago, so wanting to not overdo it there and keep everyone in play here moving forward too.
That was 2 days ago, though, man. The thing that kills me with Boone is like, bro, he don't have the killer instinct. Bro, you go for the kill. You have to go for the kill. Dude, you have them on their heels. It's like a boxer. You ever seen when they got the guy, he's dizzy, and they got him in the corner, and the guy's, he's dizzy, and they just can't get the knockout punch. And then next thing you know, the bell rings, and they come back refreshed. That's what Boone does. Like, you leave that window of opportunity, bro. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. Now with a team like the Padres, you have to go for the kill. Man.
Devin had such a great track record coming in here. How do you explain the struggles he's had so far?
I think the biggest thing is just, again, command and being ahead and not putting guys on. Stuff's there. Stuff's fine. And I do believe he'll get on a roll and be lights out and dominant. But, it's just, the command part of it where the, walk.
I get it too. I believe that too. But when though? When? Like how many games he's gonna cost us until we get there? That's what I want to know. I'll be honest, man. I like he had no business being in there in the 8th inning, man. When you got a team like the Padres on their heels, you 3-zip lead. Just go for the kill, bro. Go for the kill. Go for the kill, man. That's not a team that Devin Williams is not all there yet. This is not a lineup that you want to play with, man. You definitely don't want to play with. Even though I'll tell you what, man, that changeup is nasty, though. It is nasty. It looked good today. It's just he can't locate pitches, man. And I get it. It's raining and all that stuff, but this is too many games already that he's blown. That he's cost us, man. We talking, what, 4 games now? That's 4 games that we should have won that he cost it. He cost us. This one, look, yeah, Weaver should have picked him up, but this was on Devin Williams too. This one was on him. And Weaver takes some of the blame. Weaver ends up with the loss. But I think Boone should have he should have just left Fernando Cruz in there, man. At least for a few batters. You know what I mean? At least get him like 1 or 2 guys, 1 or 2 outs, so that way Devin Williams could come and just get 1 out and sit back down. Build his confidence up that way, man.
Walks are getting behind in certain situations have hurt him a little bit.
Anyone else? Eric.
He's had a tough go of it, particularly here. Do you worry about his mental state at all pitching at Yankee Stadium?
I
He's gonna say no. Come on, dude. It's obvious. It's obvious. He have look, I don't even need to hear him say it, but I already know that he's gonna dance around that question. It's obvious that the dude is just he's in over his head. He's in over his head, man. And we need to get him going. And I hear you, D Train saying we should just trade him, cut our losses. The thing is, bro, that's not gonna happen, man. And so they got to figure out a way to get him going, man. And I just think that this was not the way, dude. You don't play around. Now is not the time to experiment, especially against a team like the Padres. And you got him against the ropes late in the game in the eighth inning, knowing that you're going up against you got Clark Schmidt pitching tomorrow against Michael King, who's a stud. Why not just let Cruz pitch? Exactly. Why not go for the kill, bro? Go for the knockout. Go for the knock. Instead, you experience I don't know, in his mind, he thought that it was a great time to bring in Devin Williams. This will be a great, way to build his confidence. And it would. But we not even playing around like that. That's the whole point, dude. Don't play like that. You leave Fernando Cruz in there, at least for a few more outs, and then you just go straight to Weaver, man. You go straight to Weaver.
Look, I think once he gets righted and really starts to string them together, I think once he gets righted and really, I think once he gets righted and
Did he just say once he gets righted?
look, I think once he gets righted and really starts to string them together,
Fuck. Hey, Cat
as
Mama.
great as he's been, will show up, and then you start
Long time
then you
no
start
see.
building real confidence because you're dialed and you have the ability to dominate. So, we just got to continue to stack those, and it doesn't necessarily happen overnight when you go through it a little.
You know what? I agree with a lot of stuff that Boone just said. The problem is, though, you don't get him righted. Like, these are Boone's words. You don't get him righted in a game like today, man. This is a game that we really need, especially after the loss yesterday and everything. Like, this was a big test for the Yankees, and you had the Padres, who's arguably one of the top 3 teams in the major leagues right now. You had him against the ropes, and you didn't go for the kill. Instead, you decided to experiment, and you, in your mind, you figured this was a great time to let Devin Williams figure it out. It's just bad, man. It's just bad. This is too nice that I think Boone really. I'm not gonna say he cost us the game, but man, this is poor decisions. Emilio says, "Hey Jays, what's up, Emilio? Why not let Cruz pitch in the 8th?" Exactly. He only pitched 1 inning, so Boone's excuse was that Fernando Cruz pitched 2 innings 2 days ago. I'm like, man, that was 2 innings. He only pitched 1/3 of an inning, barely threw any pitches. At least let him get you an out or two. And then if you want to go to Williams, and even then I'd be like, no, just go straight to Weaver. But if you want to bring in Williams to get 1 out, that's different, But yeah. Yeah, good to see you too. I knew they were going to lose. Well, when did you know? Like before the game or after the 8th inning? I think once they scored 4 runs, deep down I knew they were gonna lose. I was hoping for a comeback. I was like, this is a perfect. I was watching Ace's channel. He was doing the live play-by-play, and I even told him, I said, man, this would be a great time to get a walk-off. Like, this is what this team needs. But deep down, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, unfortunately. And I'll be honest, man. And look, I love the Yankees. I love this team, even though I criticize them a lot. But they're so boring, man. There's no excitement. There's no fight at the end of the games. Like, I don't feel the energy from them. Like, there's no dog in these guys at all. Not right now, anyway. And then this is my whole thing, right? Like, you go for the kill. You gotta make sure you get this win. You don't bring in Devin Williams to try to figure things out. Not today, because tomorrow you have Clark Schmidt, who's been very so-so. He's very iffy, going up against Michael King, and this is probably a game that you're probably not gonna take. So in order to get the series, you gotta get this win. And tomorrow you hope you can win that one. And then your best chance of winning any game this series is on Wednesday when Max Fried pitches. So this was a game that you got to go for the kill, and he didn't go for the kill. Cat Mama says before the game, man, that's bad. That's bad. She said they might just get swept. I really hope not. Especially not on Wednesday when Max Fried pitches, man. I want to see him go 7-0 and continue the run that he's on. He deserves it. He's a really good pitcher. You're so right, Jason. If Judge, and Grisham for the what's going on with my chat? What happened? If Judge and Grisham for the most part don't do it, this team will lose. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, like you can't even rely on Grisham. We don't know how long this is gonna last. Hopefully he can continue playing like this forever, or at least through the season. But man, God forbid, dude. Like I said, knock on wood. Every time, even when Judge ran home in the first inning and he slid like that, kind of awkwardly. First of all, he runs like he has cinder blocks of feet, but man, it's so cringe, dude. I don't even want him running. I'm to that point where he's just so valuable to this team. This team is nothing without him. That I don't want him stealing bases. I don't want him running. I barely want him playing right field sometimes. Running and diving out there. Like he's just too important for this team, man. If Judge is not in this lineup, this team is cooked, bro. We're cooked. Emilio says exactly 3-0 is critical situation, and Boone decides to be all soft about his bullpen. Yeah, man, I don't understand. I just don't understand, man. You got to go for the kill. He like and I think Boone for the most part has done well this year, with the exception of the last few days. I don't understand. Like you go for the kill, man. Why are we punting games? I thought we were done with that. Ace was good. Ace, everybody go check out my boy Ace, man. He does great content. Ace, I got the link to work. You see it? The link is working finally. Let me see if make sure it's the right one. Yep, it's working. But yeah, man, Boone, it's just a bad move by Boone. He should have left Cruz in. I don't care what he says. Yeah, he pitched 2 days ago. It doesn't matter. Even if you haven't pitched today and don't pitch him for the rest of the series, you gotta take this game, dude. You gotta have a killer instinct. You had the Padres against the ropes, and you failed to deliver the knockout blow. That's pretty much it. Let me see what else
A
you got
little
to
bit,
say.
and we all go through it a little bit. We all go through tough times and stretches in this game, and he'll get through it.
All right, but tonight was not the night to try to get him through it. That's just my whole point on that. That was my whole point. Let's go see what Carlos Rodon had to say. Carlos Rodon, man, he looks like a whole new man out there. I don't know if it's the beard or what it is, but I like it, and I hope that he keeps it going. Cat Mama says, Jason, what would you have done in the eighth inning? I would have let Fernando Cruz pitch. He only pitched 1/3 of an inning. Why not just let him pitch? I tell you what, that I get it, because I agree that we gotta get Williams going, and we gotta, you still gotta play him, give him a chance to build his confidence and figure things out. But tonight was not the night for that. Tonight was not the night to figure things out. That's my opinion. If anything, I would have had him pitch yesterday, instead of bringing in Cookie Carrasco. That was probably a better time to try to figure things out. Not against a team like the Padres, who are a very good team, and we really need this win, you know. Like, it just wasn't the time. That's just my opinion. I would have left Fernando Cruz. I would have seen if he could get me through the inning, and if he couldn't, then I would have went straight to Weaver. And maybe Weaver blows it, because Weaver didn't look good tonight either. Maybe he blows it, maybe he doesn't. But I don't think it was the right situation to bring Devin Williams. Currently, the way Devin Williams has been for us since the season began, he has not looked good at all. Cam Mama says, I think as soon as Williams put the guy on base with the walk, that was the time he should have come out. Yeah. Yep. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I just don't know. This team is just frustrating, man. Like Ace was saying during his live stream, is it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. This team cannot. I don't know. It just seems like there's no fight. Like, and another thing too, if you look at today, like if we don't hit home runs, man, we're done. This team cannot put together a rally. Um, you can't get 3 hits in a row for some reason. You just gotta hope that somebody hits a 2, 3 run home run, and we can win the game. We're not scoring enough runs. It may look like that when you look at the total of everything, because we have a couple games where we put up 19 runs, 15 runs, 10 runs, versus bad pitchers. But in reality, we have a whole bunch of 2 run games, 3 run games, you know, and those are killers, man. Those are killers. Kevin Dodgers Guerra says, y'all can't help your brothers out in LA, bro. I know, man. I'm trying to help y'all out. They need to help us out, man. It's all right. We'll see y'all soon, too. But yeah, I mean, let's listen to Carlos Rodon. I'm curious to see what he had to say after the game. I'm sure he was pissed, man. Pissed because he pitched his ass off.
Carlos, what did it take to hold down that lineup as well as you did tonight?
Yeah, strong, definitely strong lineup. Some great hitters in that lineup, but Wells was great tonight. Just rolling with them and featured a lot of changeup and just try to get ahead and let the defense make the plays. So they did well.
What were you doing in the rain delay off the field?
Just kind of like an abbreviated warm up, but kind of an idea of how much time there was going to be, and a little bit of throwing. Just
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna say pause before I even say this. But man, Carlos Rodon looked good with that beard, man. I think that's what it is. The beard. The beard, man, just changed his whole demeanor. He looks angry. He looks tough.
staying ready. So it's it. Simple.
What's allowed you to cut back on the walks your last few starts?
Just getting in the zone.
I said
attacking
pause
with the fastball,
first.
in better places with the fastball, and just kind of pitching to contact. Let the defense do the work. Our defense is so good. I mean, let them catch the balls and get the outs.
You see that stat there? Rodon, 0.70 ERA in his last 4 starts. I mean, what more could you ask for? He's been incredible. He's been really good. And it's tough, man, because the offense is just not there. They're just not there. Get to some of these chats. Cat Mama says, I think the freaking rain didn't help with getting a grip on the ball. That could have been a part of the situation. Yeah, you're right. It could have. But I get it, like the rain and everything, and it's tough. I mean, but both teams are playing in the same conditions. So I can't really make an excuse. But it was tough though, because both teams were slipping and sliding everywhere. It was a nasty game. Nasty game. I appreciate it, Cat Mama. A says, Ayo, Rodon pitched really good tonight. Yeah, he has. His last 4 starts, he's been unhittable almost. Yeah, the Padres closer was in the game throwing 100. And I tell you, Ace, man, and I don't know if it's just me, but that bottom of the ninth, I just knew that it was done. Once he threw one of them, and I was like, these guys, they can't even catch up to that fastball. It's just they're overmatched. Who was it? Dominguez. Dominguez looked like he probably had the best chance, but I mean, what could you ask for him? He's coming in a pitch hit. He's been sitting all day. Him, Wells, and Volpe, they didn't stand a chance. Emilio says the Rodon backdoor slide is a thing of beauty. So sad it was all for nothing. Yeah, he pitched his ass off today, and he had a what 30-minute delay, rain delay in between, and he did his thing. And in hindsight, thinking about it, like I wasn't mad when Boone took him out. I think he took him out at the right time. But man, like knowing how it was gonna end up, I would hope just let him get through that inning and then bring in Fernando Cruz for the eighth and try to close it out with Weaver. But what are you gonna do?
Like you went over to Devin after he came out of the game and gave a pat on the back. What do you kind of, do you say anything to him after a night like this, or how do you kind of support him?
Yeah, it was really
I mean,
bad.
I've been through it. I know what that feels like. It's not easy, but we acquired him for a reason. He's such a great pitcher. He just needs to build that confidence, and he needs to know what kind of pitcher he is. He's so good. He's tremendous. I mean, we got him for a reason. He has an unbelievable changeup, and just go out there and pitch with some swagger.
They asked him about Devin Williams. His teammates are not gonna say nothing bad about him, but I know they all gotta be like, what is going on with this dude, man? They got to, man. I think he needs to, I don't know, maybe sit down with Garrett Cole or something, because Garrett Cole struggled a lot too when he first came to New York. He struggled and he ended up getting it together. Rodon was in the same boat. He struggled tremendously when he first got here. And look at him now. Um, Maybe these guys gotta, sit down or give him a hug, something, man. Let him know, like, hey, man, we here with you, man. We got you. If they're not doing it already. Mm, something gotta happen with this guy, man. And you could tell that Devin Williams, like he wants to pitch good, but it's just son. I don't think the confidence is there. Something is off with him, and you can see it in his body language and everything. He just doesn't look the same. Okay, Mama says, yeah, pitching in the rain in the ninth. It was pouring. They should have called that game probably in the seventh inning. They probably should have called it, but they weren't gonna do that. Kevin says, so weird and cool seeing Yankees with beards now. It is, right? I got used to it though. I actually like it. I like it. Some of these guys though, they look terrible. I'm like, bro, just shave. But like Rodon, I feel like it fits him. Like it's part of his personality. Um, Sometimes Dominguez look awkward to me with his beard. I have a tough time looking at Stanton too with his beard for some reason. When they show him on the bench sitting down, it just looks weird with a beard. I couldn't even imagine Judge with a beard. It'd be so awkward. Yeah, the team has no fight. They just don't. I think like somebody put out earlier like the Yankees record in one run games and it's not good. They're like 3-11 or something like that. And it's bad. It's bad. Cat Mama says, you know what? The Anthony Volpe experiment is over. Yeah, but even like guys like Volpe was the thing is, look, we're not gonna change the whole team. We're not gonna get a new shortstop tomorrow. It's either Volpe or Peraza. So you got to pick your poison, and I'm gonna pick Volpe. I think Volpe at this point. I mean, and I can't say because I've never really seen Peraza like in a full sample size of him, but I think Volpe is better than Peraza, at least offensively, and that's our choices. It's tough, It's tough, but you know, another shortstop ain't gonna fall from the sky. The same way another starter isn't gonna come out of nowhere. So we gotta make do with what we have. And look, that goes to Cashman. This is Cashman's fault, man. It really is because I get it. If I was Hal Steinbrenner, I know we're kind of off topic now. If I was Hal, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, look, I'm spending $300 million a year, and this is the BS that we put on the field. This This is what we put on the field. I'm like, no, but this player's hurt, that player's hurt. No, no, no. I get it, but every year is the same nonsense. You know, this is the product that we're putting on the field. I'm giving you $300 million. There's teams that with half the payroll that are probably just as good. So what's going on? I'd be pissed. And we have the best player in the world right now, in Aaron Judge, and probably the best pitcher in the world right now, in Max Fried. And we still look like shit. I feel like Cole and Judge need to grab Devin and talk to him straight. Cole and Judge, they need to pull him in the locker grab him up in his locker room and just freaking hang him up and kind of roughhouse him, right? No. No, I agree with you, Cat Mama. Volpe has not proved himself. This is year 3. I've been saying it for a long time, man, that maybe we gotta start looking at other options. But for right now, I mean, like, for right now, it's either him or Peraza. That's all. That's your options right there. And maybe him is either Volpe, Peraza, and a dash of Oswaldo Cabrera. That's our options. But that just goes, everything goes back to Cashman. Like, the lack of depth in this team is just bad. You know, Josh Chisholm goes down and it's like, who do we got? You know, on the bench. We don't have nobody coming off the bench that I can say that it's like, okay, you know, that's a good backup player. Really. We got a bunch of solid young guys that we don't know what they are or who they're gonna be. But that's not gonna cut it. Right now, half this is a spring training lineup. This is a lineup in spring training. We know when they split the teams and half the team goes plays here and the other half goes plays over there. This is what that is right now. 3 years of this, yep. Ken Mama says, I don't even think he's a good gold glover. Hmm. I think he's good defensively. Come on. Volpe's good defensively, but I would say that when he chooses to make errors, it's in the worst times ever. It's like, bro, it's the worst time to choose to make an error, he makes them. But his glove is good though. Cat Mama says, I don't understand why they went after Belly. Do you remember, Cat Mama, before that when the Cubs went and got Kyle Tucker? I don't know if you remember, I was pissed. I was like, hell no. Look, I'm not. If we get Belly, they gotta eat more than that. Like, they need to eat at least half that contract. And that's the only way I'll be cool with it. And even right now, my thing is, like, people think I'm a Bellinger hater. I'm not a Bellinger hater. I just feel like for $25 million, you need to play better than that. You really do. Like, I get it. His glove is great. He made a diving catch today in the first inning. Awesome. But for $25 million, I'm not paying $25 million, not me personally, but the Yankees, for your glove. There's a bunch of people in the minor leagues with great gloves, you know, well, great defenders. You getting paid that money to freaking hit, man, and play good defense, and I just haven't seen it yet. And the bad thing is we might have to eat that contract next year too. So, Cam Mama says, isn't there somebody in the minors that could be better than Volpe? The thing with it seemed so George Lombard Jr. got promoted to Double A this year. He's a ways away. He looks great though. Could he be the shortstop of the future? Right now, it looks like the Yankees want to fast track him through the system, but at the same time, it's tough. Like, I would love to see the kid up here and hopefully perform, but at the same time, I think fast tracking him up here might not be the best thing. Like, these guys need development. Not everybody does though, but he needs development. I believe he was drafted out of high school, if I'm not mistaken. So he's very young, not very experienced. Them guys, a lot of guys that were drafted out of college, you know, played 3 years of Division I baseball, and the SEC or something like that. Like those guys, they're very seasoned and they come into professional baseball ready. They come in more ready than a guy straight out of high school. Those guys need a lot of development, and it takes time. But a guy look at a guy like Paul Skeens, how he fast tracked through the minors. He was up in a year, and there's a bunch of people like that. And most of the time, those guys are guys that played high level college baseball, and they're seasoned. They're very seasoned. Yeah, Lamar, he's in spring training. He really showed good things, but at the same time, spring training is spring training. I remember Volpe when he won the job. He was phenomenal in spring training. But you got to remember, in spring training, pitchers are not even they haven't even ramped up yet. They're not throwing as hard. You got a lot of minor leaguers out there, a lot of non-roster invites, and a lot of craziness going on. So it doesn't always. I say like 90% of the time, whatever somebody does at spring training doesn't translate over into the regular season, in my opinion. Okay, Mama says try him out. The guy just got promoted to Double A. I don't think he's ready for the big leagues like that. Not yet. Give him some time. Let's see how he handles Double A. If he can handle Double A, they say if you can handle Double A, then you can play in the major leagues. So let's give him some time. Give him some time. You never know. Maybe he goes to Double A and he crushes it, and then next thing you know, he's in Triple A and he could be up here sooner than you know it. Let's finish Rodon real quick.
Here, the fans get on you and the performance isn't great. What's that like to go through? Obviously, Devin has experienced that his first 4.5, 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the business. It's part of being in New York, and it's how it goes. If you don't pitch well, you're gonna get booed. But if you pitch well, they're gonna praise you. They're gonna love you. So.
Nope, that was it. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do tomorrow? Let's go and talk about tomorrow's game. Who we're going up against. Hold on a second. Let me figure this out. I mean, I already know we're going up against Michael King. Boy, do I wish he was still a Yankee, right? What is going on? Yeah, tomorrow we have Clark Schmidt going up against Michael King, and this is the game. This is the if out of all three games we're playing against the Padres, this is the game that I felt like we're probably gonna lose, and that's why today was so important. That's why today I wish Boone would have went for the kill. He should have went for the knockout and just went with his best pitchers, and he didn't though. So we're going up against Michael King. He's 4-1 on the season with a 2.09 ERA, 46 strikeouts. He is nothing to mess with. Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt is and I must say, I say it every time he's about to have a start. Clark Schmidt is going to give up 3 to 4 runs at least. That's just who he is, and that's okay. I mean, for Clark Schmidt, I don't expect too much from him. If he could give us at least 5 innings, 3 runs, 5, 6 innings of 3 runs, I think that's a good outing for him. Now the offense has to do better than 3 runs, obviously. And I think if we could get that out of him and the offense can score at least 5 runs, we have a good chance. But we'll see though, because we're facing a tough pitcher. Kamama says it's so weird. When Dominguez was up there a couple of years ago in September, then he hurt himself and had to have surgery. Well, he has not been the same. Yeah. I think but that was like a really small sample size. And sometimes too, you know what it is? Sometimes that you're coming into a new league. It's like you're coming into a new league and pitchers haven't faced you. They don't have the good scouting report on you. And but eventually they do. They figure you out, and the scouting report starts going around the league, and like, hey, he struggles with this, or he can't hit from the right side. Right now, Dominguez is doing very poor from the right side. He's almost unplayable from the right side at this point. Even though yesterday he hit a ball really hard from the right side, but I think with him, I think he just needs more at bats from that side. The thing is that right now, I know everybody wants Dominguez to play. They're like, let him play, let him figure it out. How else is he gonna learn? And I agree with all that. The problem is that the Yankees are in a win now situation. You know, like we need production now. We can't afford to not get. We can't afford like a mediocre defense at left field and poor performance at the plate, man, because we getting that from too many other positions. It'd be different if he was like the only one and we got a second base that's producing, our catcher's hitting a little better. We don't have that luxury, man. We don't have that luxury. And they paying Bellinger a lot of money, so he's gonna play. And Trent Grisham is freaking doing great. So why wouldn't they play him? So that's the spot that Dominguez is in. And I'm gonna be honest, right? Look, and this is I know we kind of, and then we'll get into the final remarks and all that stuff. Look, the thing with Dominguez, right? Because everybody's like, you gotta let him play and give him time, and I get it, you do, right? So players need that, player development and all that stuff. But at the same time, look, man, this is the big leagues. This is the major leagues, bro. You want a spot? You want that spot? Take it. You got to take that spot, bro. 'Cause I'm telling you right now, Bellinger ain't trying to lose his playing time. You know, Trent Grisham ain't trying to lose his playing time. These guys are professionals, and yeah, they're teammates and they love each other. And they root for each other, but at the same time, this is their job. They're not trying to lose their job either. Everybody, it's a dog eat dog world. So if you want that spot, come out here and take it from them, young man. Take the spot from them, and that's what I'm gonna say about Dominguez. Okay, Mama says, Jason, I feel like Volpe is never going to meet the expectations. I I guess it depends on your expectations, right? My expectations for Volpe have that bar has dropped so low last year. I dropped it last even before then. I was like, you know what? I just don't see it. I don't see it. A says, I was talking to my nephew about this. Yanks need to stop fast tracking players to AAA. This is where the major league ready players are. They should get the most experience there. You're right. I mean, you're right, Ace. It's crazy because not too long ago I was complaining that they're not fast tracking people and they get stuck in the minors. Um, I think that I think that maybe Volpe was a little fast track, even though he had that great spring. I think Cashman and Boone they kind of put their foot in their mouth when they said it's an open, battle for shortstop. Like he could win the job. They should never went out there and said that. They should have just let them play. And at that point, they could have put him on the team or send him down. But once they were like, "Oh, you won the job and you're the shortstop for the New York Yankees," it's like, and they made it a spectacle, man. They try to make a show out of it, and it's just you got to think too, man. The Yankees, yeah, it's a baseball team, but it's also a business, and you got a lot of marketing involved. So a lot of times people are like, "Oh, they overhyped this player and they overhyped that player." And that's what they're gonna do because they trying to sell tickets, they trying to sell jerseys, they trying to build fans. They love it when the young ladies come to the game and they're like, "We love you, Volpe," and all that stuff. Oh, that stuff just brings money. They love that stuff. The merch goes through the roof. They're gonna sell everybody on there. Remember that September when Dominguez came up, he had like 4 home runs? Yeah, I do. If you fast track them through AA, I'm okay with that. But AAA is where the borderline MLB players are. You're right, man. In AAA, there's a lot of guys, and not only that, in AAA, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys who have major league time. So it's a different level, man. It's a different level. That's why I say like it's a different level from high A to AA, and then from AA to AAA, and even from AAA to the big leagues. There's levels to this. There really is. And sometimes you got to trust the process. You really do. You gotta trust the process. Cat Mama says Padres win tomorrow. Let's be a little more optimistic. Hopefully. I tell you what though, tomorrow's game is the game that I was like, okay, we might lose that one, but if we could steal tonight's game, I like my chances for Wednesday, but it didn't work out. What the expectations the Yankees have for him? It's hard as they show you that the expectations for him was to be, you know, almost like a franchise player. He is the shortstop for the New York Yankees. He plays every single game. He's never been sent down. He's never been benched. He's never been anything, no matter how he plays. So that shows you their expectations of him. They love Volpe, and but at some point, man, that love affair it starts it draws thin, especially when the fan base is starting to turn on you. When the fan base is starting to be like, wait a minute, this guy ain't what we thought he was. Um, Once you lose the fans, that's it. Eventually they make the right move. Same thing happened with IKF for a while. They try to shove IKF down our throats at shortstop, but eventually they surrendered and was like, no, you're not, you know, just not. Uh Same thing with Aaron Hicks. They try to shove him down our throats. And it's funny, it's like the Yankee fans are ahead of the actual Yankees, you know? And we're like, oh, this guy's a bum. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. And they wouldn't. They kept playing him, playing him, playing him. Eventually, they had to get him out of there. The same thing with Josh Donaldson. The same thing with so many players. So we'll see. That's why I say Yankee fans. I know we get a lot of criticism, and people think we're dumb, and we're not dumb. We may be erratic sometimes. It's like you have a bad game or bad few games, and we're upset with you, but we're smarter than you think. Yankee fans really pay attention. Not all fans, but most fans, they really pay attention to the team, and we know, you know, we know when we see a player like, oh, that player, he got something, he got it, and we know when a player just doesn't have it. We're like, come on, stop bullshitting us and get this guy off the field. I think the Tigers are the biggest threat right now, in my opinion, because they got the pitching staff and they're hitting too. The Tigers are a threat. They're definitely a threat. Cat Mama says Michael King is gonna do his thing. We'll see. Duran, what's up, Luis? Hey everybody, can I watch a Mets game without my blood pressure going through the roof? No, man. I mean, if you want your blood pressure to be stable, you got to watch Yankee games. As a Met fan, well, let me see. I don't even know what the Mets are doing. All right, so around the league, Dodgers beat the Marlins. No surprise there. Cleveland and Washington have been postponed. Yankees, we already know, lost 4-3 to the Padres. Atlanta, what's going on with the ticker? Why is it so glitchy? Atlanta 4-zip over Cincinnati. Shout out to my man Jose Trevino, who's a Cincinnati Red right now. Kansas City 3-zip over Chicago White Sox. Milwaukee 5-1. Why is this thing moving so slow? Well, we'll get there. Wow, Chicago Cubs, they put a whooping on the Giants. Okay. Oh, the Mets won. What are you so mad about? I mean, 5-4, maybe it was a nail biter, but they won. You should be happy. But yeah, so I mean, tomorrow's game, look, I feel like if we're gonna win this game tomorrow, the Yankee bats really need to step up in a big way. Because Clark Schmidt, I wouldn't put too much faith in him shutting out the Padres or anything like that. So hopefully the Yankees bats wake up and we freaking hit and put up some runs, man. 3 runs is trash, dude. We let's get 5 or more. 5 or more. When we score 5 runs, our chances of winning are like like 80 something percent. Let's get 5 or more, especially for Clark Schmidt. We might even need more than that. Let's put up like 8 or 9, something like that, and we'll be okay. So my final remarks are that, man, this is a tough loss, and we can't keep losing games like this. We cannot keep losing games like this. The Yankees are 19-16 right now. They're 19-16. And we don't have a comfortable lead in the AL East right now to be losing games that we should be winning. Right now, we're only a game and a half up on the Red Sox, 2.5 games up on the Blue Jays, 2.5 games up on the Rays, and only 5 games up on the last place team, which is the Orioles. So literally a bad week, and we could find ourselves in last place. That's how close it is right now in the AL East. So we got to step it up. We got to go for the kill with these teams, man. Enough playing around, enough experiments. No more Pablo Reyes, no more Devin Williams late in the game until he proves himself that he's back. None of that stuff, man. We go with the best players all the time. That's what we need to do. The best players all the time. We'll worry about tomorrow. But we got to win today. That's how I see it. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody. Cat Mama, thank you for joining us. Luis Duran, Kevin, Dodgers, Guerra, Ace, thank you for joining the stream. Who else we got over? Emilio's popped through. Nando 390 came through. Who else we got here? Andrew, D-Rails, D-Train, always showing support. I appreciate you guys. I really do. No problem. I thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Ace says our May schedule is brutal. 2 West Coast trips in 1 month. Yeah, the travel schedule is not looking good, but what are you gonna do, man? They gotta start getting some W's on the board, especially against the like the shitty teams. We gotta beat up on these bad teams. We gotta beat up on them bad. And with that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys joining me. That's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna get some sleep, wake up in the morning, and hope the Yankees give us a W tomorrow. Clark Schmidt, please do your thing. I appreciate everybody. I love you guys. Have a blessed night. I'm out.